Church Solutions Podcast, the Church Solutions Podcast. My name is Phil Thompson.
And I'm Steve Lacy.
And Steve and I are here today, as we usually are every week. And today we will have very little opening banner. We will get right to the meat of what we're going to talk about.
Banter, not banner. Yeah.
Banner?
Yes.
Banter? Didn't I say banter?
Huh?
I said banter, right?
I thought you said banner.
Well, maybe I did say banter, but see, we've already blown it. So we have a lot of banter going on here. All right. So here's the deal, folks. We're a company that, does streaming video and mobile apps and all that stuff. And we just launched a new website. What's the domain of our new website, Steve?
Streamingchurch.tv. Yes, it was time for a refresh. So we did it.
We did it, so it's the same.
And we didn't do it very carelessly, though. So
that's right. We put some thought into
it. Very carefully.
Yeah, at least we think we did, but
it was not an overnight project. No.
It was not an overnight project. A lot of time and effort went into it. I'm sure there's probably something we'll find. We need to change that. But yeah, we put effort into it. So what we want to talk about today is because we know those of you in ministry and church and other things, your website is very important to you, just like it is to us. And if you're considering, putting up a new website, designing a new website, here are some things that we have learned that you could learn from us and other people on how to do it right.
Right. So, yeah, one of the things, what motivated us, just a little background on us, is our design. Some would say it was not, it was several years old. So what was really cool 2 to 3 years ago is not as cool as what is really cool today. So that was one of it was just time. So if you have your church website and you haven't updated it in 6 years, you're probably in trouble. So.
Yeah, and this is coming from a guy who's an engineer who really didn't care about design for a long time. You just cared about content, which is obviously very important. But now you're learning. You're learning that design is very important because it's a big part of what people are drawn to.
Yes.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yes, you're giving me a hard time. And I do have an appreciation for design, but we had a very unique situation. We do have a very unique situation. So our unique situation is, and we'll get into some of this in more detail, but Google right now is our friend. And we didn't want to alienate Google into not being our friend. And by that, I mean, we're a top search result when you're looking for our kind of thing. And so our favor with Google, our SEO, and we'll get into more of that later, has been really good. So it was very important not to jeopardize that relationship.
That's right.
So, and if you're a church that is in that unique situation where if you Google Los Angeles church, you're the top 3 results, that's something you want to protect.
Absolutely.
So,
or anywhere for that matter.
Yeah, your city names, with the word church, if you're in the top 3 results, that's something that's really important.
Yeah.
So you're probably getting a lot of visitors.
So as we've beat this dead horse for a long time, websites are very important to everybody, especially churches. And that's, kind of the first impression that people get when they're looking for a new church. So you have about 11 points here. We'll see how far we get. But
really?
They're very important. Yeah, you do. But they're very important.
It started out as 7, so.
Yeah, it grew. But I added to it. No, I didn't add anything. But these are all really important points. So we'll see how far we get. And it's a vital part of what you want to do. Your website's very important.
Yeah, let's start off with this Lifeway research study stat.
Sure.
Which I found was very surprising. And well, it's not that surprising, but it says that about 1/5 of churches in America don't have a website.
Yeah, I was shocked to see that.
I'm shocked to see that, but we get customers, even customers in the US, where they have no website. Their only representation is maybe a Facebook page or something like that.
Yeah, I guess. So, yeah, that's very interesting. So, but hey, it's easy to do a website. Well, sort of easy.
Right. Yeah. So if
So,
you're in that 1/5, 20%, you need to get busy and get yourself a website because
yeah,
we're gonna go through what's,
what's important.
that's yeah, it's the front door of your church. If you take your front door off, or take it down or lock it up, you're gonna have a hard time getting
Getting
any
people in.
growth in
Yeah.
your church. Yeah.
Yeah. Have we done enough banter so far?
Yes, yeah. So
Okay.
let's
All right.
jump into it. So our first, and we'll go through these pretty quick.
All
So
right.
I hope we do.
Yeah.
So number one on our list is usability.
Okay.
So the an important aspect is making the site usable for the average user. And so
Okay.
the average user is probably your average visitor that may be interested in your church. So it's maybe not those that are within the church body that are going to be, it's kind of geared for the outside focus of
Right.
somebody new to the church. They're
Yeah.
going to want some key
So
elements.
easy to find certain things that they're looking for, which we,
Yes.
have talked about before, but what to expect, uh, maybe, a
Winner.
little bit about the church.
Yeah. Where am I? Where is the church and when do we have
Yeah,
services?
exactly.
Those
Yeah,
are,
those are important. Yeah, those are very
yeah.
important. And if you do streaming video, by the way, you should have it easily accessible so people can see. And maybe if you have video, maybe a place where the archives is, so people don't have to search forever to find it. But if they can find something like that, it will help them,
Yeah.
see if it's a good
So,
fit.
yeah. So usability is probably definitely outranks what completeness or what would be, making sure I have everything under the sun on my website.
Yes,
Um, you would definitely err on the side of usability and make the key things easy to get to,
right.
and maybe direct people to call or something else
Yeah,
for every nook and cranny. So, all right, usability is
yeah,
number one.
yeah. Yeah.
Number two on our list is speed.
Speed. So tell us a little bit about speed. What do you mean by speed? How fast the church runs, or how
Yeah.
fast the services go, or what do you mean by speed with a website?
Well, your website needs to load within 3 to 5 seconds or less,
Ooh,
and or otherwise people will get very frustrated. So if you've got just crazy stuff going on your website where you've got a large multimedia stuff, but it takes 20 seconds for the page to load,
mm,
um, you're going to not only alienate the viewer to your site, but you're going to,
yeah.
and we're going to talk a little bit more about this later, I think, is you're going to alienate your good friend Google because they're
Mhm.
not going to send people to sites that don't load quickly.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And don't put, this may not fit under speed, but don't put music on your website when it starts playing right away. Please don't do that.
Yes. That is probably one of the most annoying things. That's,
I don't
yeah.
know where that goes in these categories here, but it's just a anyhow.
You
All right.
you
So you
should
want that?
have
Go ahead.
just I was going to be sarcastic. Just the music thing was taking me back to, like 1996 when you had people found rotating GIF images that were, or
Oh,
people,
yes.
running and doing just, little crazy cartoon things. You don't want that on your website either.
No,
Yeah.
no, you don't.
And
And
that,
yeah, it's just distracting and annoying and all. Yeah, and it can slow
yeah.
your website down too.
So we're actually into the next point, which is
Good.
aesthetics.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Nice
yeah,
segue.
yes, no music that starts playing as soon as you get to the site. Nothing that's going to scare people when they or want to rush to get away from your site if they're
Yeah,
at
don't put
work or
pictures of
the,
me on your website. That would scare
yes,
people. But yeah, I get what you're saying. So impressions. Okay, you got
yes,
10 seconds to make an impression on a visitor.
yes. And they're going to know is it's probably less than 10 seconds, but you have 10 seconds to know. And we do this a lot too, you and I. We judge churches based
No,
on
we don't judge. They can be
based
Christian.
on their website. So if it's a design from 1998 and it loads really slowly and it's got a bunch of crazy stuff on it that's 10, 15, 20 years old, we make judgments about the website, and the viewers or visitors to your website are going to make the same judgments. They're like, oh wow, these guys don't really care that
Yeah,
they have
yeah.
lime green carpeting from the 70s inside their facility, or it's
Well,
just
yeah, they don't care, or they're a bunch of old hippies, or maybe they need help. I mean, there are, and that's one of the things we do is we do provide help for churches. Primarily streaming video and mobile apps, but we do have like Brittany. She can help design websites. So, but yeah, I think you're right. It does signal a message to people when they look at your website and it's out of date or it's just got stuff, as you just said, on there, music playing or whatever. And but the truth is there's no excuse for that now. I mean, there's lots of people that can help you if you can't do it yourself.
right. And a lot of services out there
Well,
that will make you look very professional very quickly.
exactly. Yeah.
So, and that's
That's the
another
point.
thing we also judge churches. We're like, wow, their site is all together, very cool or very contemporary
Mhm.
looking, I guess is the thing. And so that reflects on the church. We say,
Yeah.
as we're making judgments, we're like, these guys have their act together. They got
Yeah.
something going on. We can trust these guys.
Yeah.
And everybody does this, picking a restaurant to go to or whatever. You check out the website and you're not gonna, if the
That's true.
site is terrible, you're probably not going to visit the place as well.
Most
So,
cases, yes.
yes. So aesthetics
Yeah. That was
are
the
very
third point.
important.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. So
content
number four,
is
content. Yeah.
yes.
All right. So what should we have on the website? I kind of mentioned that earlier, but go ahead.
Yeah, we did. So there's some things that be thinking of what a first-time visitor to a website's going to want to know, and we talked about these. Where is this church? What time do they meet?
Right.
What can I expect? Is it? And this is where video and photos of your image of your church is what is really important.
Mhm.
People want to see what you're like. They don't want to see stock photos of a bunch of happy people. They want to see the people that are at your church during the
Yeah.
service, so they can say, okay, I know how to dress. I know
Yeah.
what to expect,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
kind of people attend this church. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and then, so you want the key things that we talked about earlier,
Yeah.
service times, location, and what to expect.
Yeah,
So,
content is king. So
yeah,
usability was the first one, speed was the second one, how fast it loads. What is the other one? Aesthetics. Uh,
aesthetics,
yeah,
content, and
and
next
then
is, and we talked about this as well, contact info.
contact. Yes.
So make it
Yes.
easy for people to, they have a question that's, further down the line. I need to know, is there an email? Is there a phone number? Does the
Right.
phone actually work? Does the email actually work?
Right.
So,
To people that really respond. Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, so we run into that as well, like, oh,
Oh
wow,
yeah.
nobody ever answers the phone, or it says it's unlisted, or,
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, so that was
Number
contact
five.
info. Next is you need to have the ability to maintain your site to keep it current. You need to
Website
make sure that,
maintenance.
yeah, website maintenance, make sure it's current, make sure that you have staff that's able to make the updates, or you want to make sure that the thing is also running and that
Good point.
it's available 100% of the time.
Yeah.
So,
Every page should work all the time.
yes,
And if not, then you need to get some help. And again, I understand there's people out there going, well, I'm a small church, 120 people, and we're at this. I'm overwhelmed, and I'm bivocational. But again, there is help out there. There are services, and if you need any of that, contact us. We may not be able to do it for you, but we can recommend somebody.
yes. So the next one should have been way up on our list here, probably number two or
Yeah,
one or so, which is mobile friendly.
yeah, yep.
And
That's
a lot of
important.
people will design their site for the web or for the
Yeah,
computers
right.
or tablets or whatever, but they don't go to the next step and make sure that what's this thing? Is it mobile friendly? Is it easy to navigate from my phone? Um, there's a thing that's a stat here that 48% of users admit that if they visit a church's website and it doesn't work on their phone, on their mobile device, then they take that as an indication that these guys just simply don't care.
Hmm. Uh,
So,
and another stat, there's over 50% of the people now are surfing the web using mobile devices. And so, I mean, it's a big deal. I mean, I think sometimes you and I forget about that because we're literally looking at screens all day, big screens, because of
Right.
what we do. But the truth is, most of the people out there now are using mobile devices, to
Right.
buy things, to look at things, to check on things. And so your website needs to be responsive. Now, let me ask you a question though, because you can have responsive website and you can also have a website that's like a mobile website, right? So there can be two different avenues to go down.
Yes, I mean there is, but the predominant route is to have a responsive site. You can have what's like a reactive site where it will take you when the website senses, oh, this is being viewed on a mobile device, I'm going to take you to 100% designed for mobile. So a lot of design trends now are designed first for mobile and then have a responsive site that works on the web as well.
Okay.
So just another just minor point. We rolled out our new website and I'm posted it on social media, and one of my sons said, "Hey, I checked out your site and here's, the things that I saw." And he never even looked at it on a computer. He just only looked at it on the phone, and all of his feedback was based on the
Mobile.
mobile experience. So,
Yep.
yes,
It's
everyone
pretty
is
common.
checking it out.
Yeah,
Yes.
pretty common.
All
It's got to
right.
be mobile friendly. All right. So the eighth point here you have is promotion and SEO. So explain what this is. Explain what SEO is and what do you mean by promotion?
Well, these are kind of the first seven that we talked about here are just things that you should include in the design of your site. Now, this next one and it kind of relates to how you design your site, but um, you need to be able to make sure that people are going to get to your site. So there's only a couple of routes for people to get to your site. So that's where this promotion and SEO comes in place. So if you got a site and no one ever sees it, then you're in trouble. So there's I consider three primary ways that you're going to get found on the web. So
Okay.
number one is just paid marketing. People go through, and the number one route for that is going to be um, Google and
Google.
Google AdWords, and we can
Okay.
talk a little bit more about what the Google AdWords is, but um, making sure that if you aren't the number one, we live in Tucson, if you type in Tucson church, and if your church isn't one of the number one slots there's something you can do. You can pay Google and set up some AdWords so that you are the number one ad that appears when people type in Tucson church.
Okay.
So there's paid
All right.
marketing. The next route is organic, what we call organic search. So anytime you search on Google or any other search engine, at the very top of the list, there's going to be ads, and they're going to be
Mhm.
indicated with ads. Those are the guys that paid to get in that spot. And
Mhm.
then there's what is considered what they call organic, the people that didn't pay to get in the spots, but they're still at the top of the list. So,
Okay.
so you get there through SEO.
And
So
SEO
what
stands for
search
search
engine
engine
optimization.
optimization.
So that's how you design your website for your target audience so that it's a relevant result for Google for your viewer. So,
Okay.
um, and we'll get into maybe talk a little bit more. And then the third route is just through social networking, and you could do paid advertising within social networking, or you can just do
Yeah.
free
Yeah.
social networking.
Facebook
So,
or Instagram, Twitter, and all that.
right.
Okay.
So AdWords makes AdWords if you if you want to get top results, go to I think it's adwords.google.com and
Just
log
Google
into it.
AdWords. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
Google
go.
AdWords, and it'll have you create an account. You got to put your credit card in. You got to figure out the key thing you want to do if you're doing Google AdWords is you want to figure out what search terms you want to score well for.
Okay. All right.
So if you're
All right.
looking for your, you know, Pentecostal church in Tampa Bay, Florida, that may be a search term that you want to be listed number one for. And so the way the Google works is it's an auction. So depending on the commonality of your search term, the more you're going to have to pay to get, to outbid everyone else that wants that search term.
Yeah. If you're
So,
purchasing this. Yeah.
right. So you should sit down with probably a team of people and figure out what's our strategy for doing our Google AdWords? What are the 10 search terms that we want to score well on with Google? And
Yeah.
you may be, and you're thinking in the mind of who's going to be searching. And if you're a certain particular church that has a certain personality and attracts a certain kind of people, you're going to want to create some search terms that are in that niche, so you're not overpaying for general search terms like Tucson
Yeah,
Church.
specific terms. So, if you're with a specific denomination or you have a specific style or something, yeah,
Right.
I think I get that. Yeah. So that's pertaining to Google AdWords. I actually made that a point in your outline here, but you're digging a little deeper with it, so that's good. And you've explained SEO, right?
Yes. So SEO, we'll talk so SEO, that's, you're going to want to go through a similar exercise as you do SEO on your site, in that Google's going to show the most relevant results. That's their goal, to show, people are searching for this. I want to give them the best resource for it. So as you optimize your keywords for AdWords, you're going to want to optimize your site around those same keywords for SEO. So you want to include that, Tucson's top evangelical Asian church, or whatever it
Right.
may be.
Whatever it might be. So this is
Whatever it may be.
pertaining specifically to the content on your website.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and primarily on either the homepage or a page that you are set up that you want to score really well for. So if you want to grow your youth group or whatever it may be, people looking for certain search terms, you may want to design or dedicate a page as content that would be appropriate for Google, and make sure that those terms and phrases are in the text of your website.
Okay.
So,
Good.
and things like page titles, how you title your page. If you have a domain name that's consistent with the search terms, as we do, that Google likes that as well. So those are some key things. And the other one is speed, and that Google, if you've got the same content as 10 other competitors, but your site loads faster than everyone else, Google's going to push you to the top of the list. So,
All right.
and there's tools out there to measure your speed and compare yourself with other sites. So GT Metrics is one that's pretty popular with kind of the web master crowd. It'll go through and it'll,
GT Metrics.
yeah, metrics as in metrics, metrix.com.
Okay. All right.
And it will show you
Analyze.
exactly what is slowing down your site and give you tips to speed it up. So just things like optimizing images. You don't want to have printer-friendly images on your website. You want to have web-friendly images on your website. So,
Okay. Good deal.
and the other way to achieve SEO, you have very little control over, but if a highly ranked site links to your site, you're going to do really well with Google. So if you can get CBS.com to run a story on their website that links to your website, Google's going to like that and raise your page rank and credibility, and so that when people are searching for,
Well, I'm thinking
Pensacola.
too, I didn't cut you off, but I'm also thinking, getting back down to church stuff. If you're part of a denomination and there's a denomination that has a pretty good sized website that gets a lot of hits, and if you're part of that denomination and they link to your church's website and wherever you might be, Tampa or whatever it might be, that would help you then, right?
Yes, that would be any Google authority, which is some other website that has a high degree of trust and what they call page rank in Google world. If you have a link on that site, so getting your denomination would be great, but if you can get linked off of apple.com, that would be good too, but that's probably not going to happen. So
yeah, it's not realistic, but that's why I mentioned, like maybe a big denomination that you may be a part of or might be endorsed by, something like that. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah. Okay, good.
All
All right.
right.
One more point. What about social network? Is there something you can do a little more? I guess we covered that, didn't we?
We
Social
have.
network
So,
activity.
yeah, it's just make sure that you're
Getting,
active on the social networks because that's going to draw people and then send people to your website.
yeah.
So,
All right. Well, sounds good. Well, this is really good information. And as we said at the beginning of the podcast here, your website, folks, is very important. And uh, I'd encourage you to put some effort into it. These things that we talked about, it may seem a little overwhelming to you, but if you can at least start one at a time, it's kind of like how do you eat an elephant? You just one bite at a time, right? So what I'm getting
right.
at is, this seems overwhelming, but you can do it in little
Yeah.
segments.
Yeah. And the good thing is there's a ton of companies out there to help you, us
That's true.
included, so that it's not like, oh, I've got to go learn all these new things and make
Right.
it happen. You
Yep.
can get people to host and create and some
Yeah.
content and
Yeah.
yeah,
We have a gal that works with us that does work for us, part of our team here, Brittany, and Brittany Messerly. And we've actually had her on here before, and I know that she does some freelancing, so she can help do websites as well. So I guess what we're saying here, folks, is if you have any questions about this or you want to give us some feedback, send us an email. As we always say, support@streamingchurch.tv. And while you're at it, check out our new website. It's streamingchurch.tv, same domain, but a new website, and we'd love to get your feedback on it.
yes.
Yeah, good deal. All right, Steve, good job. Well done.
All right. Thank you. You too.
Well, thank you very much. I'll mark that on my calendar. I got another good job here from Steve. All right, so it's an inside joke. All right, so folks, we're done. We're done, and we appreciate you listening to this podcast. And as we just said, we'd love to hear from you. So please let us know. And until next time, thank you for the privilege of your time today. You've been listening to the Church Solutions Podcast. He is Steve Lacy. I'm Phil Thompson. Have a great day. Catch you next time.